Last week, if you remember, we looked at this disturbing specimen, this anatomical Venus, 18th century sort of phenomenon. They were, I was going to say everywhere, they weren't everywhere, but here she is, beautiful face, looking really quite sexy, almost erotic, you could argue, certainly, until you get down past her neck, and then her entire stomach and rib cage have been slit open to the world, because this is the way that 18th century audiences wanted to learn about anatomy. And of course, you know, if you're going to learn about anatomy, you don't want to put people off by having somebody looking dead as they're showing you their insides. No, you don't want that at all. You want some kind of beautiful erotic woman slit open, because that's really not disturbing at all, is it? No, it isn't. Still worried about poor fictional Giovanni. So this is what we looked at last week. This week, we're going for the kind of sexy Virgin Mary. So here she is. So here is the Virgin Mary flashing a boob at St. Bernard. What? I mean, it feels wrong to even say the sexy Virgin Mary. It feels wrong to even think the sexy Virgin Mary, but she is undeniably flashing a boob. This is by Simon Marmion, it's 15th century. And she's flashing a boob at this fellow down in the bottom left-hand corner who is St. Bernard. And what I love about this is that St. Bernard, he kind of seems to be looking at the boob that she hasn't got out. So I don't know whether he's actually missed the flash because he's looking somewhere else, or he's thinking, you know what, lady, thank you very much for just showing me the one boob, but frankly, I'd like to see both of them. I mean, that's a bit greedy, to be honest. And in the meantime, Jesus is finding this all completely hilarious. So I might be struck down for my, I don't know, is this blasphemy? I don't know. I suppose it kind of is. But for being rude about the Virgin Mary. Of course, there is something else going on here. So St. Bernard, Mary with a boob out. This is what she's actually doing. She's actually, I don't know whether this makes it better or worse. It just is. She's actually squirting her breast milk at St. Bernard. Yes, she is. And again, the baby Jesus looks somewhat delighted there, doesn't he? He's like, oh, well done, mummy. So this is not the same story as this one. So if you remember, all the way back in the summer, all the way back in August, I think it was, we had a similar story. Well, not a similar story, but we had a story about breast milk, and it was this one. And this was Roman charity. Do you remember this? So this is the story of Simon, who is the older man on the left-hand side here, who was imprisoned for illegally burying his brother, and his daughter, Pero, goes and feeds him her breast milk because he's imprisoned and he is sentenced to death by starvation, but she goes and she feeds him breast milk and he survives, and the guards find out and they let him out and give them food packages, and everyone lives happily ever after. Okay, so this is a story. It's called Roman Charity, and that's the story of Simon and Pero. This is in the Louvre. This is an entirely different story. So this is the story of St. Bernard of Clairvaux, and here's another one. Excellent aim. Absolutely excellent aim. This is a painting that dates to 1650, and it is by a Spanish artist called Alonso Cano. It's in the Prado in Madrid. And the story of St. Bernard of Clairvaux is that, so there is a story behind these strange images, of course there is that he was one day praying to the Virgin Mary, and this would have been in the late 11th century when he was alive, and he was praying in front of the Virgin Mary when all of a sudden the Virgin Mary whips a boob out and squirts breast milk at him. Now, St. Bernard kind of accepts this, you know, he doesn't freak out. He's not like, what are you doing, lady? This is really weird. You know, he doesn't get cross because he's not ready for it and it all goes over his robes. No, 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 he completely accepts it. And as you see here, he opens his mouth and receives the breast milk. And that is why he became incredibly learned. So Bernard of Clairvaux was known to be a great Christian, exemplary Christian, and he was known to be incredibly wise, and also he was a great theologian. And this is why, because when Mary gave her his breast milk, him her breast milk, he basically imbibed the wisdom, this sort of supernatural wisdom that obviously she has inside her. And also they sort of say that, you know, he was kind of chosen by her. He was sort of a bit of the special one, special chosen saint. Okay, so great aim here. This one, take a look at this. So this is an engraving. This is going back, this is 15th century. The master of Zwolle, we don't know exactly who it is. This is in the Rijksmuseum if you want to see the original. Not such a good aim. Not such a good aim. I don't know whether you can see it, but Mary is there with Jesus again, squirting her breast milk. But look, I mean, it's like, whoa, hits him in the forehead. And there's a little bit of cartoon writing as well there. I don't know what that says, but like, take this, St. Bernard. Maybe not. But so there's another part of the story, or there's another version of the story. So the aim is slightly more random, you might think, but the other version of the story is that in fact St. Bernard had some kind of infection in his eye infection, and Mary squirted her breast milk into his eye and cured the infection. But of course that could kind of also sort of be assimilated with the idea that he was gaining wisdom, because, you know, he could suddenly see, so the sort of idea of, you know, being illuminated and wise. So yeah, there we go. But in this one, I just need to show you this as well. This is great. So look, just down. So this is just down in the bottom right hand corner down here. So look, a little lion who is like, what is going on? He's great. He's great. Lions are more commonly associated with St. Jerome. But St. Jerome is one of the first doctors of the church. He translated the Bible into Latin, and so he is 100% considered to be a very wise person. And so I'm thinking that this lion is being included as a sort of a tribute to St. Jerome, and bringing in the sort of the attributes of Jerome, the wisdom. That's why I think he's there. That's the Lynne Hanley Beyond the Palette take on it. Okay, so just to round off, given everything that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, I want to finish with a modern piece. Really surreal, really quite strange. This is by a French artist called Murielle Belin. And she did a series of paintings. This is oil on wood between, I think, 2007, 2009. She did a whole series of them. I mean, oh my goodness, this is quite odd, but I think you can see where she possibly got her inspiration from. So this open torso and the squeezing of the breast milk. So hello, Anatomical Venus, hello St. Bernard and Virgin Mary, of course. But you can see here, I'm just going to bring that up. You might have to sort of adjust your eyes, but there are two snakes. So she's actually sort of quite intently squirting her breast milk over a snake. And this is called, the title of this piece is La femme au lait salé, so the woman with dirty milk. And so I think this is probably a bit of a comment on original sin, don't you? So whereas the Virgin Mary was giving St. Bernard her wisdom, this lady here is just basically passing on original sin and all of the rubbish that we all, all human beings have inside us. So I think that's what that's saying. So this is Murielle Belin from about 2007, a really weird piece, a very strange shape as well, quite disturbing. So don't worry, all is disturbing at Beyond the Palette for one reason or another. Okay, I'm going to turn comments back on and turn this off. Some weird images. And yeah, just hope that I haven't offended anybody by saying that maybe the Virgin Mary was flashing, because of course she definitely wasn't. She would not do that to St. Bernard. 100% not. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take care, everybody. Lovely to see you. Happy Thursday. Bye.